Totally Nonsense on Nonsense News Nation. Totally.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to another riveting edition of Totally Nonsense on Nonsense News Nation. I am Brandon Scott Ellis, Hebrew name Shmuel Melech, and I have my co-host here. What is your name?
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Scott Honigman for Nonsense News Nation, and we also have someone else with us, Brandon.
Oh my God, we're triplets. Who's the other person?
Go ahead.
What?
Special
Speak.
guest.
I'm Ben Schwartz, also known as what was the Hebrew name you guys gave me?
We gave him a Hebrew name. It's Ben Zonah.
Ben has been on our show so many times when we were on WGBB, and finally we got him on for Totally Nonsense.
Scott, if you actually caught up to your own actual podcast, you would realize that he was already on this podcast, but you weren't there.
Oh, that's right.
So
Well, he was on that one week. It's new to me, so
it's new to Scott.
we're all
It's
here.
okay, Scott. I covered you.
And we're all together because we all three of us love goofs, we love foolishness, stupidity, and especially nonsense. And lucky for you
nonsense.
guys, lucky for everyone, the world is full of nonsense. It's the year 2020, the year of nonsense. It was the year of the dragon some time ago. Now we're going straight up to nonsense. Scott, do you have anything in the realm of nonsense that you'd like to speak about and let everyone know?
Well, in my nonsense arsenal, I have 2 stories ready to be deployed. So, I want to go on to my first story, Brandon, and I have to preface the story really quick by saying, of course, there's a lot going on in the world right now with riots and protests and all that, and I do have a story about that, but this is a little bit more lighthearted. In Minnesota, that's the epicenter of all of these riots and protests, and there's a city in Minnesota called St. Paul, and I think it's the capital. I'm not too sure, but in St. Paul, they're undergoing the process of retraining the police department, and one way they're doing that is by showing all 800 employees the film Zootopia.
Why is Zootopia?
Well, if you've ever seen Zootopia, you know that it's a movie that has a lot of underlying themes about society at large and, racial injustice and discriminatory practices. So
Right.
it's one of those movies that
It's
you watch.
very
and you really think
explicitly about that.
It is, because obviously it's been a while since I've seen the film. From what I remember, only certain animals can be police officers, and only certain animals can have other jobs. And Judy Hopps was the first female cop, or something like that. But anyway, they're showing this film Zootopia to police officers in St. Paul, Minnesota, to help teach them about police bias and help them understand race relations a little bit better.
And give that Disney magic.
And Disney is a very good way of teaching people. I don't 100% agree with this, but Disney is usually great at teaching people good, decent morals and how to be a decent human being.
Well, here's the
all of
thing,
their films are
Scott.
lighthearted.
You could show someone a Disney film and you can abolish racism, but Disney will not cure anti-Semitism whatsoever. Remember that one time Donald Duck was a Nazi?
I remember that.
Can't wait for that to be on Disney Plus.
I don't know if they'll ever put that there, but if they do, we'll make a review of it or something. Sergeant Deanna Frank of St. Paul Police Department is the one
Sergeant
screaming.
Hop of
Sergeant Hop.
the area.
Sergeant Judy Hop says, according to Sergeant, when you see the story, it has bias and prejudice woven throughout. Some of it is law enforcement related, but some not law enforcement related. It examines bias through a completely different lens. So, as you can see, the police department really believes that Zootopia is a great way of instructing its officers on how to spot and identify and eliminate police bias. And
I feel like
improve race
before
relations.
the tragedy of what happened and all these protests, what they were shown was probably Robocop. And that was their inspiration. They knew how to they learned how to shoot someone in the Johnson. And that's like all they learned. You were coming with me dead or alive. I mean, Zootopia is definitely a lot better. I mean, furry acceptance too. That's another way to watch and appreciate Zootopia. Someone in a fursuit, you just don't judge them anymore when you watch Zootopia. It's life-changing.
Don't judge a book by its cover.
We had this one story a while ago where a bunch of furries jumped a guy who was beating his girlfriend. So furries are definitely an inspiration to us all.
Learn from the furries.
And we can thank Zootopia.
We could. I actually this morning I saw this tweet. Somebody they tweeted about the Amazing Spider-Man 2.
What?
The
Why?
Film because it got a release date, and then somebody responded, "Well, they better change Miles Morales' dad's job."
What?
Because he's a cop.
No.
I think they were just joking around.
They were definitely joking around.
Because there are some people that thought Captain America should just be gay, where no, he's not gay. Remember that a while ago?
I mean, come on. Have you seen his outfit in Avengers? Have you seen his outfit? Tell me. Look at me in the eyes, Ben, and tell me he's not gay.
He is not gay. He is 100% straight, all-American male.
What if there was a scene where Captain America just started making out with Thor?
No, with Bucky Barnes.
With Bucky? Or
That's
Sam.
what they set up in the movie.
That wouldn't.
He's as gay as a rainbow.
That would make him gay, but you know what? He's straight, but Happy Pride Month, too. Happy Pride Month.
It's Pride Month. Anybody can be gay.
Exactly. We're all gay, as in happy.
We're all
happy.
We're all gay in the way.
We're all gay. Okay,
Actually,
end of story.
End of story. Let's move on to the next story!
Oh, is this actually transition?
Brandon,
yes.
This is a very good transition. Because speaking of gay and Pride Month, there is the mayor of Seattle. This is in such bad taste. The mayor of Seattle, Mayor Durkan, is kicking off Pride Month by equipping police officers with rainbow tear gas, rainbow-colored tear gas. Well, actually, not just police officers, but wait, let me continue to read this. Excuse me. As a proud lesbian woman myself, I thought I'm not.
Are you, Scott? Are you? I knew it.
I'm reading a quote from the article. As a
Preach
proud
it, girl.
lesbian
Come
woman
on.
Myself, I didn't know this. The mayor of Seattle is apparently a lesbian. Oh, that's cool. Interesting.
Like the Cyclops from Onward.
That is interesting.
Just like the Cyclops from Onward.
Oh my god! No.
She saw Onward and she was inspired to make a transition.
What, to become a lesbian? What?
Directly from the mayor of Seattle. As a proud lesbian woman myself, I thought, what better way to celebrate the 50th anniversary of Pride with a colorful reenactment of the Stonewall riots themselves. So,
what?
The police are prepped with chemical canisters.
Is this like a Civil War reenactment? No, this isn't a game.
Yeah, this is really... this is a strange article.
Don't spray people's eyes. I don't care if you saw Onward that one time and you thought it was super cool, which it was cool in the Pixar film. But don't spray people with rainbows.
I need to read you this one sentence from this article because this says it all.
Go right ahead.
As police shot sets of red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple canisters throughout the crowds, protesters were blindsided, and residents oohed and awed and gasped for air at the same time. Jesus Christ. Well, those are my two stories. A little lighthearted, but also a little in bad taste, admittedly.
It's all in good fun until it gets into your eyes. But until then, it's nice. Happy Pride Month. Happy Pride Month, guys.
Happy Pride.
Kind of dark humor, but kind of epic, too.
That's what we strive for here at Totally Nonsense.
Some people celebrate Pride by supporting the LGBTQ plus community, while others, they dally and diddle with chainsaws.
Excuse me?
This is a terrible transition, but my story is about the famous actress, Cate Blanchett, and she actually cut herself with a chainsaw the other day. Could you believe that?
That's quite interesting.
For anyone who doesn't know, she's... I mean, I'll get to it, Scott, please.
I'm sorry, I'm really interested.
She's alive, don't worry. She played Hela in Thor Ragnarok, and she played Galadriel in The Lord of the Rings. So that's a little tidbit about her. So she cut her head specifically with the chainsaw at home during quarantine. Because what else are you going to do during quarantine? Read a book? I'd much rather cut myself with a chainsaw.
Yeah, just a nice zoom.
Let me tell you, a paper cut from a book is way worse than a cut from a chainsaw.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Anyway, she described it. She described the traumatic injury as a little nick to the head. And she spoke about this to the former Australian Prime Minister. This is what she speaks about with the former Australian Prime Minister. Her name is Julia Gillard. And I have an exact quote. She said, "I had a bit of a chainsaw accident yesterday, which sounds very, very exciting, but it wasn't. Apart from the little nick to the head, I'm fine." I don't know if that meant coma or concussion. I don't know. I don't speak Australian. I don't know what nick to the head means to her. I mean, when a chainsaw enters the head, it's usually a very bad sign, but I'm glad she's fine. I don't know if she used her Lord of the Rings powers to take it like a champ, but good on her. And the former Prime Minister responded to her. She said, "Be very careful with that chainsaw." I mean, no duh. You've got a very famous head. I don't think people would like to see any nicks taken out of it. I think they don't even know what the word Nick means. Nick is a name. Nick is a channel. Nickelodeon. Nick could be nickel.
Nick mean?
I don't know what Nick means in the land of Australia.
Do they mean like a little chip? Like a little chip off the head? That's still not better.
Maybe she was grazed, but like even I feel like if you were grazed by a chainsaw, there's going to be blood everywhere.
Yeah, is it like on your face? Is it like near your
On
brain?
the head.
Is it like
I think she was just trying to downplay the fact that she almost died or something.
Did she try to cut her hair with a chainsaw and like went a little bit on her scalp? Because there's no barber? I don't know.
I don't know. It's like saying, "Hey guys, I got shot near the heart, but don't worry, it didn't hit my heart. It just hit near
I
it.
got nicked by a bullet.
I got nicked by a bullet real quick."
I got nicked by an alligator.
I got nicked by an atomic bomb, but I'm okay. Because I was just nicked in the head. God, I don't know what that means.
I asked her personally. Maybe we
I
can
would
have
love
her on
to.
the show.
But she didn't give too much detail about the trauma that really inspired. But the source I have, Fox Carolina, not to be confused with Fox California, they suspect that this could be from a gardening incident because in 2017 she bragged about her passion gardening. And the last time a famous person had a gardening incident in quarantine was Brian May, who broke his buttocks, if you remember that.
Right. Queen.
And yeah, he was in a lot of pain, and I heard that he got a heart attack too. So my thoughts go out to that dude. I played
My
Queen today in
condolences.
respect. Yeah, exactly. And don't try to get nicked in the garden. That's my advice, everyone. Don't get nicked.
Thank you,
No
Brandon.
sirree.
Don't
Thank you,
watch
Brandon.
Nickelodeon. It's just SpongeBob. No more nicks, okay? You'll be hearing SpongeBob's laugh forever. So we're going to move away from the Lord of the Rings and Thor Ragnarok and go into a little bit more Guardians of the Galaxy. Because we're going to talk about some raccoons, if that's okay with
Okay.
you. You guys like
I love
raccoons?
I think they're trash pandas. I like the one.
You're going to be a great dad one day with those jokes, my friend.
Have you seen the one video of it's like in the 90s of the raccoon with the party hat at the birthday, and they're like
Of
saying
course.
Happy birthday to you, and it's just a raccoon at the table with a
He's
party
eating
hat.
the cake. He's like, I
Yeah,
don't
he's
think
like-
you should give a raccoon any cake. I don't know.
No, that's
You
not
just
a
put it in the
raccoon.
garbage and they'll have the
Definitely not
cake.
alive anymore.
That's it.
That
That's how they
raccoon is-
eat.
If that raccoon is alive today, he'd be at least 23 years old. I don't think.
He's probably
How long
dead by
did that-
now.
How long?
Probably
did
not
that-
long.
2 to 3 years. Oh, jeez. He's long gone. I'm sorry, buddy.
How did they film Guardians of the Galaxy and go up to Avengers Endgame with Rocket? It's 2014
You know-
to 2019. How did this raccoon live for so long?
Rocket is in very good shape, so he's doing the keto diet, and he's he's living
What,
long.
so-
He's also a robot too.
Maybe he has a robotic heart.
Probably.
I don't know. Maybe you should teach your raccoons to do more squats, and they'll live longer. Give them a gun.
What, you're
I don't
saying
know.
You want Rocket to have a thicker butt?
Stop.
You
That
want
would
Rocket-
make some
I'm
unnecessary.
not. I'm not a
fan
police
fiction.
Is he a
cop
mom
watching
in a Pixar
Zootopia and into
movie?
furries.
You don't
Anyway,
think Judy Hopps is cute?
I have a story to talk about.
Let him speak, Scott.
So our
Sorry.
story takes place in Niagara Falls. And you know Niagara Falls. It's a tourist's wet dream. There's beautiful landscapes, a gorgeous view, and easily the best 7-Eleven in all of Canada.
I like 7-Eleven.
You guys think about 7-Eleven. What do you get there? You get Slurpees, jerky, donuts. What else?
Energy
7-Eleven,
drinks,
I get all my
Fiji
groceries.
water,
You know what I got one time?
scratch-offs.
I got
right.
There was this package of chicken breasts, and it said "Eat it cold or hot."
What?
That's never
What?
a good sign. It literally
should
was
never eat a
literally
cold
a
chicken.
soggy chicken breast package, and it said "Eat cold or hot." It doesn't matter. It's like it literally doesn't matter. You'll live. And
Whenever
of
I
course,
ta-
I got it, and I had it, and I felt really bad.
Ew.
Sick, you mean? Or you just felt sick?
I mean, my soul felt sick. I felt really bad.
Whenever someone says chicken breast, I think about a chicken with gigantic boobs just running around.
Someone's
bouncing
been
them.
watching a lot of Zootopia.
Is that your fantasy, Scott? You
I'm
want
in
a
the-
chicken girlfriend?
I'm in the St. Paul Police Department. I had to watch it.
Couldn't help it. Anyway, there's one item at the 7-Eleven they don't tell you about, and that is getting your own baby raccoon.
What?
Ooh,
Yes,
a
they're
pet
selling
raccoon?
raccoons. Yeah. You think Guardians of the Galaxy would have 7-Eleven as a sponsor? You know in the Guardians 2, they like threw in Dairy Queen obnoxiously? I'm thinking that maybe after this story, 7-Eleven will just appear in space.
7-Eleven in space. I love that.
That should be its own Marvel movie. Anyway, I digress. So 9 baby raccoons were given to someone outside the store last week. Note, it is very
He's
illegal
like, what?
to possess raccoons if you aren't a licensed caretaker or Star-Lord from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Does that say in the law?
Hey, what are you doing? Let go of me!
I think it was right in front of the store or in back of the store. It wasn't in the store specifically. But they probably got some Slurpees for the baby raccoons for the ride home. I could imagine that.
What if the
Put them all in
movie
their little car
G-Force with the hamsters was with raccoons instead? That's what I'm imagining.
That's
That'd be called
Rocket
R-Force.
Raccoon lived for so long. In Guardians of the Galaxy. He outlived in Endgame. He outlived all the other Guardians. They all died. He's the one who lived, and he has a lifespan of 2 years. And there was a 5-year gap in that movie. Can you explain the
fade away.
logic behind that? I'm sorry. Just now, I'm starting to think about the logic of a talking raccoon, and it's blowing my mind. All right, going back to raccoons who don't talk, let me finish here. Health officials confirmed that 7 of these baby raccoons have been recovered. That means there are 2 more remaining, and who knows what happened. Maybe Yondu took them and made them Ravengers. Maybe they joined the Avengers to stop a mad purple titan. I don't know where these raccoons are. There's 2 more left. These health officials are worried that if these raccoons aren't domesticated, they could very well have rabies. That is one superpower that Rocket Raccoon has in that they don't talk about. It's probably in the comics. That if you get a bite from Rocket Raccoon, you'll foam from the mouth. Rocket should have bit Thanos.
Is it just an insta-kill move?
He'd get rabies. He'd choke on his own foam. And then maybe Iron Man would have lived.
Maybe.
Brandon, don't talk about Iron Man!
It's still too soon.
Too soon.
R.I.P.
So the search continues for the remaining masked baby trash pandas. We can only hope that Guardians 3 will still have raccoons.
see them again.
Because
Isn't that supposed to come out this year?
no, it's been delayed because James Gunn got fired or whatever, and then he got back, and he's making Suicide Squad 2 for some reason. And
Why?
we don't know if Rocket's going to make it for, like, 2023 when they make it. Please,
my
just
friends
film this
gotta be the
movie
Suicide
so this
Squad when that
raccoon
movie
could
comes
die
out.
in peace.
I want to see him die in peace.
I want Rocket. Jesus, give him a Viking's death. He's been around
Give
for
him
too
a Viking
long.
burial.
Put him in a trash can where he belongs. He's a freaking raccoon. He lives for 2 years and he dies. That's the
What a
natural
life.
order. Don't make him an Avenger.
Natural.
Don't have him befriend trees anymore. Let Rocket die. Please,
Let
Marvel.
him die in peace.
He's
Please,
suffering.
Marvel.
Brandon,
Please.
Jesus Christ, Rocket's life matters. Come on. Hashtag Rocket Life Matters.
I understand that you say all lives matter, but it's insensitive to raccoons because their lives specifically matter.
That's right.
Yes,
And we're going to leave
I
it
agree.
at that. Ladies and gentlemen, please take away from this podcast that raccoons are for sale in 7-Eleven. You should also be careful not to get nicked in the head by anything, whatever that means. Make sure to
Zootopia.
celebrate Pride Month by spraying people in the eyes with rainbow
No,
whatever.
don't do that.
And be sure to watch Zootopia so you become a better human being and accept furries.
That's right.
Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed the podcast because I sure didn't. Ben Zonah, thank you so much for being on today. We'd love to have
it's
you
always
back
a
again.
pleasure.
This has
Anytime.
been a living heck. I hate everything.
If you want to hear more from us, I hope you do. You can listen to us on Spotify, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Anchor, SoundCloud, and YouTube's. We have Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram where we post some funny posts sometimes. We even have a website, nonsensenewsnation.com. And if you want to contact us personally and analyze how Zootopia should not be so sexualized, because I kind of agree with that, you can contact us personally at nonsensenewsradio@gmail.com. That is nonsensenewsradio@gmail.com. Once again, I've been Brandon Ellis.
I have been Scott Honickman.
I've been Ben Schwartz.
And this was Totally Nonsense on Nonsense News Nation. We'll see you next time. Peace and love.
Watch Zootopia.